call this meeting to order. This is the Plan Commission of the Village of Morton, Illinois for Monday, November 23rd, 2020. Can we have a roll call?
Guile. Knapp.
Yes, here.
Smock. Here. Ritterbusch.
Here.
Farrell. Zobrist.
Yes, here.
Keach.
Here.
Fick. DeWeese. We have a quorum.
Okay, so we have some meeting minutes from last meeting from October 26, 2020. Does anyone have any comments about those meeting minutes? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
And a second.
All in favor,
All in
say aye.
favor? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, now we are at the public hearing part of our meeting tonight. Tonight we have 3 petitions to hear, and before we start, we're going to have our council give us an announcement.
Thank you. Public hearings are being held tonight pursuant to published notice. Any person wishing to make a comment to the Plan Commission will be afforded an opportunity to do so and will give their testimony under oath or affirmation. No member of the public may address the commission until recognized by our chair. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the Plan Commission will make a recommendation to the village board. The Plan Commission makes recommendations only. The village board is responsible for taking final action on these matters.
Thank you. So first on the list tonight is petition number 20-07ZA. Subject property is located at 200, 204, and 206 East Jackson Street. The petition has been filed by Scott Lee Willis. Mr. Willis is requesting a zoning change from B1 to R1. Is anybody from the public, or is the petitioner here tonight? Would he like to make a comment? Okay, you need to stand and be sworn in. State your name and where you live. And
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
if you'd step up to the mic, state your name and address.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Scott Willis. I reside at 339 North Nebraska Avenue here in town, and I am the executor of my dad, Harold Leroy Willis's estate, and the estate is the owner of the property that's in question here that I'd like to discuss. Prior to my dad's death, he resided on North Main Street at the Villas of Hollybrook location. Respectfully ask your consideration on changing the property in question at 200 East Jackson from being zoned Business 1 to Residential 1. A little history on the property. My family acquired it. We bought it back in 2005 and did a renovation to the resident side, which we converted into a location for my business, Morton Financial Services, and began operating there December of 2005. And we also did some renovation to the other addition, the 204, which in February of 2006, Brooke McCool began operating the Brooke & Company beauty salon there. At the time that we purchased the property, there was 3 parking spots that were open to the public there on Jackson or Route 150, right in front of the business itself. And knowing that we'd need a few more spots than that, then I spoke with Mark Johnson, owner of Knapp Johnson Funeral Home and the Ludwig Mortuary property there, and I was able to secure 10 parking spots that I rented each month for my staff as well as my clients and Brooke's clients and then her stylists. And both of us had a good location there and everything was going well. And still going well for both. I've since relocated. I bought the former Ledgestone building on 122 South Main Street, which is right next to the Great American Popcorn Factory. And Brooke, she relocated to the Bartlemay, the old Bartlemay gun shop there across from the Dollar Tree. And the necessary reason to relocate is unfortunately at the time that the property changed hands there, the former Ludwig Mortuary, with Dr. Lovell in his new facility there, just did not have ample space to be able to allow us to continue to rent parking in the lot there. So that's why we relocated. The property is for sale. We've been attempting to sell it as a business and have had a number of inquiries about it, and quite a few people came through it. However, unfortunately, with no parking available for them, we just have not had any offers on it, and after discussion and thought about it, figured it was time to return it back to what its original use was at one time as a residence. Feel like this would give the property the best chance to become a viable property. Again, it's along a major corridor there, a lot of traffic, and would really like to see it put back into use as opposed to, being a vacant property there. So we're requesting, like I say, with your consideration, that we be able to convert it back to a residence and list it as that, and hopefully we can get the property moved and have a family or individual or whoever want to call it their home going forward. So I would ask if there's any questions. I'd be happy to answer.
Are there any questions from the board to the petitioner?
I have a general question. Is it true that you can have residences in a B, was it B3 that he's requesting? Or that it's going from B1 to R1? You can have a residence in a B1 zoning, correct?
Is that
No, in mixed use you can, but it needs to be residential, only in mixed use.
Okay.
So, just to clarify, so you could put a B1 and a B2. You could do higher, or I2, and right, like you can do higher use sometimes within the same classification.
Well, in business and industrial, yes.
Got it, but not to go from business to residential.
Correct.
Is there anything that currently violates R1 in these buildings as they stand right now?
Okay. Well, so I think I'm going to answer your question. So in the ZBA, Mr. Willis applied for a variance for parking requirements. So in R1, you're required to have 2 parking spaces. He will have 1. The variance was granted based on the approval of the rezoning. So he will be compliant if, I guess the question is, he will be compliant if this gets rezoned to R1. It would be compliant to R1.
It mentions that it's 200, 204, and 206, but is that all one building, correct, right? With
Yes,
3 different
yes, I
numbers,
believe
where
you
the
had-
X is on the map.
Yes, the tenants, I believe you had multiple tenants. So it is that same, there's a pin, it's just one parcel.
Okay.
what is the zoning directly across the street, across
That's R2.
R2? Okay.
And R1 behind to the south.
R1 is that light yellow?
Yes, yeah, that's all R1.
Okay. Any other questions of the petitioner? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your consideration.
Is there anyone from the public who would like to make a comment? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I move we approve the petition.
I'll second.
First and a second. Let's call the roll.
Keach,
Yes.
Knapp,
Yes.
Ritterbusch,
Yes.
Smock,
Yes?
Zobrist,
Yes.
approved.
Okay, very good. Now we'll move on to petition number 20-08 ZA. Subject property as being part of the northwest quarter of the southwest quarter of Section 9, Township 25 North, Range 3 west of the 3rd Principal Meridian, Tazewell County, Illinois, containing 7.684 acres, being part of PIN number 06-06-09-300-001. Glenda L. Cruz and Sherry Bliss are requesting a zoning change from RS to I2. Is there anyone here from the, please come and be sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Please state your name and address.
My name is Brandon Lott. I personally reside at 404 West Stonegate Road in Peoria, Illinois. And I work with Farnsworth Group, and I represent the owners and potential developers for the site. The site is immediately west of the FedEx ground facility, shipping facility at the end of Highland Street there. And they've essentially outgrown their existing space and are looking to expand for parking only. It's just the building, just the parking, not a building. So it's 7.684 acres. My understanding, and forgive me if I get the series wrong here, is that it will be subdivided, annexed into the city, and then rezoned in that order. But this process, I guess, requires this hearing so that the board can consider that at the appropriate time. As the petition states, it's 7.684 acres immediately west of the existing facility. It's going to contain parking. There's about 5 acres of parking for vans, auto parking for the employees, and a detention basin to control the stormwater. The request, my understanding is when it comes into the village, being annexed, it's automatically RS. And so the petition is to rezone that to I2, which is consistent with the existing facility and really the entire industrial park up there, for eventual connection of Highland all the way down to the southwest there in the future. I don't think I have much else here. Again, it's just parking and detention basin.
Did you say it's parking for FedEx?
It is.
Okay.
But again, it's employee parking for cars and then quite a bit for vans and trailers and consistent with the existing parking that you see out there now.
Okay.
And will this cross over Lakeland? Like, will Lakeland go through this parcel?
No, the road is going to be about half of that distance. Is that correct, Brandon?
Correctly. The extension of Highland is about 250 feet, which is about half of the entire parcel that is being subjected for annexation.
I have a question about the parking. As it's been described, does that require an I2 zoning for that kind of parking?
The intent of the development, the annexation would be for this to all be a part of the same tract.
For it to
and
match?
so- Correct. And we generally, if it's just parking, it becomes a motor freight terminal. So if it's a parking lot where it's going to be semi-trailers and where it's not a part of another facility, but it's standalone on its own lot, it's a motor freight terminal, which requires an I zoning classification as well.
Okay, thank you.
So is that property going to be combined with the FedEx property
Yes.
into a
Yes.
single parcel?
Yes.
I left that step out. I apologize.
Okay,
And that plat is later in your agenda.
I see that, yeah. Okay. Any other questions for the petitioner from the board? If not,
Thank you for your time.
Anybody from the public wish to make a comment? Any further discussion? If not, I would recommend a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
And a second. We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Knapp,
Yes.
Ritterbusch,
Yes.
Smock,
Yes?
Zobrist,
Yes.
Keach.
Yes.
Approved.
Now we have petition number 20-09ZA. Subject properties are located at 108 through 110 East Queenwood Road. I'm going to dispense with the PIN numbers for this reading. The petition has been filed by the Village of Morton. The Village of Morton is requesting a zoning change from B2 to B3.
I can
Are you
speak a
speaking
little.
for Morton?
I can speak a little bit about that, yes.
Okay.
So at 108 and 110 East Queenwood, there is a business that would like to go in there that does not fit the B2, but it does fit the B3. So as we looked at that as staff, we see that B3 surrounds that also to the south. So it just seemed to make sense that we recommend all 4 of those parcels to be B3 so that we get away from a little bit of spot zoning. All 4 of them parcels do meet B3 setbacks if they go from a B2 to B3, so they would be compliant at this time.
All right.
And then like we discussed earlier, if someone was in a B2 classification, they could,
Yes,
Put
what
it
they,
there
yes.
without
So
any
everything
issue.
is conforming to what they do. So it's the old Pizza Hut building, which is empty. There's 2 office buildings back behind that are mostly office type of businesses, and then the one on Queenwood that would fall into B3.
Okay. Any other questions for the petitioner? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
And a second.
Ritterbusch,
Yes.
Smock,
Yes?
Zobrist,
Yes.
Keach,
Yes.
Neff,
Yes.
approved.
So we have a 4th item on the public hearings tonight, which is an ordinance making amendments to Title 10 of the Morton Municipal Code regarding accessory structures in business and individual districts, and that is not quite ready to review. So I think we need a motion to continue that to a future meeting.
Yes.
So I'd entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to postpone that to a future meeting.
Okay,
Second.
we have a second.
Ritterbusch,
Yes.
Smock,
Yes?
Zobrist,
Yes.
Keach,
Yes.
Neff,
Yes.
approved.
That ends our public hearing for tonight. In other business, we have a preliminary and final plat of the Cruz and Bliss subdivision to consider, and it's just what we were just talking about, that the subdivision out by FedEx. Do you have any comments about that, Mark?
Well, that's fine. That's fine. So this shows the subdivision. So this is the parcel that gets annexed into the village, which I do believe Attorney McGrath, I think if you'll explain maybe that we're trying to get all this to come full circle to the same meeting for the annexation, the rezoning, and the plat. Is that correct?
That's correct. There are several steps beyond you guys. You guys are one of the kind of tip of the spear. But this will all come before the village board at the first meeting in December to complete the annexation and rezoning.
Okay. Nothing unusual about this, Brad?
No, this has gone through staff. Staff has
Okay.
gone through this, Public Works, and it's all been approved internally.
Okay.
And so this property that's being kind of subdivided, that's the property that would be I-2,
Yes.
not
Correct.
the rest of it. The rest of it would remain.
The rest of it is not being annexed at this time.
Only lot 1.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So it seems we need a motion to approve these preliminary and final plats.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a
Second.
motion and a second.
Smock,
Yes.
Zobrist,
Yes.
Keach,
Yes.
Neff,
Yes.
Ritterbusch,
Yes.
approved.
Very good. So that concludes our business for tonight. Are there any further comments from
Well, I
From
did have-
Brad?
I did have,
Nothing tonight.
I did have another new business, just something
You did?
that I could ask
Okay.
about, yeah.
Okay.
I just was curious, I know we are an advisory committee to the village board, and that, you know, that we just make recommendations to them, and I just know that last month, we approved an ordinance that would potentially allow tattoo parlors. That was unanimous, and then I noticed the village board voted it down. And I checked out the meeting just to kind of see what the discussion, did we miss something as a plan commission? Was there some criteria that we didn't consider? And I didn't see a lot of discussion on it, so I just didn't know if there was a way we could get a feedback loop back to us on, did we miss something? Or is there some criteria that we didn't consider? I just didn't know if there was ever an opportunity for us to hear and maybe learn, you know, what the village board was thinking in terms of that decision.
Pat, do you,
Well,
I don't feel
so
like,
trustee Blunier's the trustee liaison for your board, from the village board. So I think certainly direct communication with trustee Blunier would be appropriate. Phone call, email, or next time he's present at one of these meetings would be an appropriate time to follow up with him directly.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, if I may comment, I feel like everything that was presented at the plan commission was presented to the village board, so I feel like it was all the same information. So I don't think there's anything more or anything less, so they saw your recommendation as well.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smock. Any other remarks this evening? Any other business, Brad?
Nothing tonight.
Okay. In that case, I think we can adjourn. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.